Okay, so I want to thank everyone for jumping on the call. Today, we're talking about controlling the polarities and basically, these topics of how to attract an abundance in your life, how to think, how to, create your own economy, because that's what it is like creating your own economy. Um, a lot of people think that all you have to do is work hard. And I tried that. It didn't work for me. Working hard does not bring riches, like Napoleon Hill said. So you have to have a plan. Your plan doesn't have to be precise. You just have to have an idea of what you're going to do. Um, like Bob Proctor says, the how will present itself to you. And I relate that to like when I was starting my business, I had someone from the radio come to my office and say, "Hey, look, I'm going to put you on the radio." Now, at that time, I only had like two, three, four clients a month. I went from having, three, four clients a month to having 35 clients a month, 45 clients a month. How does it happen? It happens because when Andrew Carnegie was having a conversation with Napoleon Hill, he told Napoleon Hill there's a hidden law of nature that not even the wisest of men can understand. And I relate that to Isaac Newton. Like he's pretty much known as the father of calculus. He was trying to figure out how the system works. And he figured out what gravity was, just taking a little snapshot, trying to go into like a window to figure out how it works. Um, so when we talk about thinking, we think most of the time we have about 60,000 thoughts. And out of those 60,000 thoughts, we have maybe, you know, probably, I don't know, maybe 700 thoughts that you think about. That maybe out of those 700 thoughts, there's only about 50 of them, maybe 40, maybe less that are serving you. Most of those thoughts have nothing to do with your major definite purpose. And we've been living in a state of confusion because we were taught to walk a certain way, to drive a certain way. And it's order, right? That's heaven's first law. God's first law is order. And then it's like the movement about the cosmos, about the planets, about us. What keeps us here is gravity. But it's really order, what we've been taught. And you have an order of the way you do things, and you have structure in what you're doing. But the question is, are you getting the results from the way that you're doing these things? And if you ask people, nine out of 10 people are going to tell you, I'm not getting the results. Now, people could tell you, yes, I'm getting the results. But in reality, what they're telling you is, I'm just too scared to tell you that I'm not getting the results, because they're telling you what you want, what they think you want to hear. But the reality is they're not getting the results. And it's okay to be wrong. I was always broke, and I had a hard time understanding these principles. I never wrote books. I was never good in literature when I was in high school. But here I am working with Peggy McCall, a New York Times bestseller, writing books. How does that happen? Well, the how will present itself to you. Now, if you tell someone that works 9 to 5 and depends on a paycheck, if you tell that person, hey, guess what? You're going to quit your job next week. And not only are you going to quit your job, but you're going to create your own paycheck. You're going to write your own paycheck. That person is going to look at you and they're going to be like, you're crazy. I have a house. I have a family. I have kids. I have to work. No one's going to take care of me. I have to work hard to retire. so I can live a better life. Working hard, Napoleon Hill says, does not bring riches. He says, when riches come, if they come at all, they're based upon definite demand, not by mere chance or luck. I've studied this information for years because I wanted to know what the greatest minds think, how they think, what they think, and are they getting the results? Now, when you're going up against your goal, you're not getting your results. You're only working. It's like the guy that's looking for gold. He's in the mines. He's hitting the walls. He's looking for gold. He's working hard. But it's like the mind is not the brain. The brain is something physical. The mind is an activity, and you're getting it all the time. That's why William James, the professor from Harvard in the early 1900s, he says you have about 60,000 thoughts. And out of those 60,000 thoughts, 95% of them are not serving you. Those thoughts are not getting you to the next level. So people would rather not even go to the next level and just work a job. So why? Because they don't want to work hard. They'd rather just throw in the white towel and say, you know what? That is too complicated for me. I'm not cut out for that. And it's okay if that's what you want. Great, right? But it's like money is a magnifier, Bob Proctor says. Money makes you more of who you are. If you're a bad person, you're going to be even more of a bad person. If you're a good person, then guess what? You're going to extend the good the good you desire to other people. That's why Proctor Galler Institute, they're making schools in Africa every 2-3 weeks. They're making a new school. Why? Because they're helping other people. And that's how the river flows. You might not get it right away, but somebody else is going to give it to you. And what I mean by that is money, success, happiness. We work on HHW, happy, healthy, wealthy. So you have to have order in the way you do things. You have to be honest with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror, like Napoleon Hill did when Andrew Carnegie told him. Look at yourself in the mirror, Napoleon. Tell yourself, not only will you achieve what I've done in my life, but you're going to meet me at the post and beat me at the Grand Slam. Now, why did the richest person in the world tell a broke newspaper reporter to look at himself in front of a mirror? Because it's like Bob Proctor says, you're the only problem you will ever have, and you're the only solution. You're fighting you. And I'm not going to let you fight me because I'm not going to fight. And I realized that I was always trying to change people. And in reality, I was looking to change myself. So the problem that we have is not knowledge, it's ignorance, the opposite of knowledge, ignorance. That's why I talk about the law of polarity, because the law of polarity is opposites, positive, negative, up, down, in, out, open, close, the front part of a book, the back part of a book. And it's your perception that creates your reality. How do you see it? Do you see it as an opportunity, or do you see it as failure, wasting time? I'm not going to make it. This is not going to work. Look, everyone told me it wasn't going to work. I had people telling me, don't start the loan modification clinic. It's not going to work. Now I'm turning around making $150,000 a month for 4 years consecutive. And people are going to tell me it doesn't work. These are laws. Take something you're good at. If you're good at talking to people, take that, capitalize on that. It's called scaling your business. Create an online website where you can sell socks and you can get rich. That's how his stuff works. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. You're the only problem you ever have. You're the only solution. And it's like, work on what you're not good at. I was never good at running. Now I'm good at running. I was never good at writing books, never even attempted. Now I'm writing books and I'm throwing them all out there. The Profit Express, controlling the polarities. You're the opportunity. I can't doesn't exist. The how will present itself. Master key to riches, master key to success. Why? Because that's what I learned in 10 years of research, of doing the research, to figuring out why people are trapped, figuring out why people are stuck. Because you're expressing your ignorance upon the world. And I did that, and everyone does that because we didn't know any better. You see, you were taught to go to school and to get a job and to get ahead. But guess what? When you were little, you had a creative faculty. It's called an imagination. And they told you, stop playing with the crayons. Put your feet on the ground, like my dad would say. Put your feet on the ground. I tell him, look, Dad, I make 20,000 a week. He's like, you got to be out of your mind. The most I've ever made is like 50, 65, 70,000 at the most. Now, I kind of got lucky because in high school, I used to sell phones when phones didn't have internet. So at that point, when I was 19, I was making 65,000 a year. But then I lost my job because the Twin Towers got hit. So they said, hey, look, we can't pay you $25 an hour. I was the highest paid salesman in Circuit City in the United States of America, the highest paid. They actually had a dart system to take me out. I was the bullseye. People were trying to aim towards me. How did a guy that knew nothing about sales make it to be the #1 salesman in the United States? You know how? Because I had somebody that was guiding me. I had a mentor subconsciously. His name was Mike. He was the store manager. And he was telling me, look, are you happy making $600 a week when you can make $600 a day if you focus and if you learn the skill? And I thought about what he said, and it kept playing in my mind and playing in my mind. And I was like, look, I have to learn how to sell these phones. I have to learn what Sprint is, a telecommunication provider. I have to learn what the technology is. And then pretty soon, I'm activating everyone's phone. People are coming to me. Hey, you're the guy that activated my cousin's phone. I need you to activate my phone. Whatever you give your energy to grows. That's what Ralph Waldo Emerson says. The only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to. When you're emotionally involved, when you have a desire, when you're consistently thinking about the thing, what is the thing? The thing is different for everybody. Your thing might be different from my thing. My thing when I was in 2013 was I want to make $1.75 million by January 1st, 2017. That was my thing. My thing was to become a millionaire because I thought getting rich was going to help me and my family. But guess what? Getting rich doesn't help you and your family. Getting rich is just a feeling that you get. It's not going to change who you are. And as a matter of fact, it's going to make you more of who you are. So if you're a bad person and you're making a lot of money, then guess what? You're going to be an evil mother, you know what, right? They talk about Bill Gates with the vaccines, coronavirus. Now, I don't know what's going on. I can't tell you if the coronavirus is real or if it's not real. But what I do know is that there's something good in it. And that's what I learned from my mentor. I said, look, I'm having problems, Bob. I don't know what to do because I just got into an argument with a toxic relationship I was in. I need your advice. He's like, look, you're the only problem you ever have. You're the only solution. Like, focus on you. Don't give your energy to these negative people because they're only going to bring you down. They don't want to see you succeed. Why? Because if you succeed, it's going to make them feel bad because they didn't bet on themselves. They gave up. They went to go work. They said, hey, this is all I know. I'm going to work. I'm not going to make 50,000 a month. That's not possible. It's not going to work. You can't make 50,000 a day. You can't make 50,000 a week. It's not going to work. But guess what? Elon Musk made like he's close to being the richest person in the world because the stock, Tesla, literally jumped, skyrocket. They broke the stock in threes where you get more. So they cut the stock and now the stock is like multiplying. Now, I don't know how they do this stuff, but what I'm telling you is there's people making billions of dollars in a down economy because you weren't taught this information. You see, we create our own economy. When you go to your bank and you tell your bank, hey, look, I have a 401k. I've been saving this money my whole life. The bank looks at you and they tell you, guess what? You just lost half of your 401k because the stock market went down. But they're not telling you that they're making millions of dollars with your money because they're literally playing in a casino with your hard-earned money. And they protect you with a four-letter word called FDIC, FDIC insurance. In 2009, they had to bump up the insurance from 100,000 to 250,000 because people were scared to leave their money in the bank. So what they're doing is they're brainwashing you. They're manipulating you through the frequency, the same frequency that you can see me and you. These are frequencies. It's like the air. You can't see it, but it's there. You can feel it. Well, guess what? There is a frequency right now of the life that you want, the life that you want for you, for your family, for yourself. Work on you, right? Then you can help other people and conquer the world. So how do you do it? Well, you do it by having a strong faculty called your will, concentration factor. Focus on the image, focus on the desire that you have. I was emotionally involved. I used to knock on people's door. Hey, can I sell? Can I help you? I see here that you're losing your home. We could lower your interest rate. We could save your home and we could lower the balance. Do you need help? Yeah. How did you get my information? It's free online. I found it online. I have to talk to other people. It's yes or no. Like, it is what it is. If you need me to help you, give me a call. No, wait, let's talk. Lowering their interest rates. That was a big thing in 2009, 2010. And it's still a big thing right now because there's 50 million Americans with no job. Now, how does the law of attraction work? How do you go from zero to hero, from broke to damn, this guy's doing it hard, right? How do you do that? You do that by having a fantasy, an imagination, a desire, a picture of what is it that you really, really want. Do you want to start a company? Do you want a specific home, a specific relationship, a specific car? Then you write it out. Like, that's what I tell the people that we work with. All you need is a pen. When you write it out with the pen on a blank sheet of paper, you put, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Now you could put, I'm so happy and grateful now that I just paid off my house. I'm so happy and grateful now that I just bought a car, cash. I have no debt. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have $100,000 in my savings account. I'm so happy and grateful. Why? Because when you say it, you give it life. When you say it, you're creating a picture in your mind of how it would feel. And feeling is the secret to the law of attraction. You may want to write that stuff down because that's some powerful stuff right there, like powerful stuff. And I talk to people that are in this business that are telling me whatever you're doing works. I don't know how, but whatever you're studying, whatever you're doing works. I don't have to tell you if it works or not. I know it works. I'm in Spain. I live in Spain. I have an apartment in Spain. 2 blocks away from my house is the ocean. Now, today is not that hot, but this is beautiful weather, guys. Like, I thought California was nice. This is beautiful weather. And I'm not leaving this place. I'm staying here for good. I get phone calls from Chicago, from my friends in the West Coast. Hey, you coming back? Not anytime soon. I'm so relaxed here. Like, I never used to drink wine. I started drinking a couple glasses of wine. Don't want to make it a habit, right? But you know how they say all these people do is eat eat cheese and drink wine and grapes, right? Like a king, right? And I feel like I'm on top of the world, because this is a good feeling. to wake up when you want, to travel when you want. I just rent a car, go to Paris, go to Barcelona, go to Madrid, go to Italy, go to Switzerland. I was already in Switzerland last year. I was in Milan. I went to San Marcos Church, a church that's like over 500 years old. And I did that while people were at work, while people are sitting there thinking, all I have to do is work hard for another 20 more years and then I can retire. And then guess what? You end up getting cancer. And then you died. You know what Bob Proctor says the saddest thing of a funeral is? It's not the death of the body, but the death of all the dreams. It's not the death of the body. It's the death of all the dreams. Untapped potential. You know where all the gold is? It's not in the caves. All the gold is in the cemetery, because that's where all the people died with those unfulfilled dreams. And like I talk about greatness and how Bob Proctor says, everyone is great. Everyone has greatness in them. But you can't see you're great because you were always told that if you didn't have A's or B's, if you had C's, D's, or F's, you weren't great. You're a freaking loser. You're an idiot. You're never gonna make it. You're not a winner. You're never gonna make it. But guess what? The valedictorian, the one that graduated, that was like giving the speech to class, he ended up going out to the workforce and he got his ass kicked real quick. And then you get a phone call and you're like, hey, how's that valedictorian? Oh man, he's on drugs, fucking, he lost his job, got a divorce, has 3 kids. You know, shit happens and it happens real quick. You can lose your life in a blink of an eye. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna lose your life. What I'm saying is things change. And it's the failures, the ones that are working hard and never give up and have been through some crazy shit, the ones that could actually say, you know what, I made it. And those are the ones that make it. But you can't be ordinary. You have to be different. You have to go the extra mile. You have to do stuff that is uncomfortable. Too many people are sitting there in a comfortable life, eating chips, drinking soda, relaxing, watching TV. Hey, that's fun. I love pizza. I love chilling, right? But right now is not the time because there's 50 million Americans with no job. So that's why my mentor, Bob Proctor, says, look, Ross, if you're going to want to live a good life, if you're going to want to travel when you want, work when you want, you know, and basically retire young like Earl Nightingale did, because Earl Nightingale mentored Bob Proctor. He said, you're going to have multiple sources of income. And I started working on that. I started studying these principles, these laws. Now, the first law is the perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy just is. Science and theology, they disagree on a lot of things, but they come to an unanimous decision on one thing, that nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. So everything you want's already here. But it's on a certain frequency. It's in a certain dimension. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You guys think that it's like, you think that it's going to happen in 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. It's not going to happen like that. You're going to go through a testing time. It's called the season of sowing and reaping. Now, I got into cryptocurrency about 3 years ago, okay? And I'm talking about retarded ass money. I'm talking about right now, the market cap of cryptocurrency, the whole market cap is about $370 billion. Now, where Bitcoin is going, digital currencies, Bitcoin is going to end up going to 100 grand. Some of these cryptocurrencies could go to $1. And if you put $10,000, $20,000 into the right project, you could literally make $350 million. But that's what's happening in this world. Because there's a time where collective thoughts where we all agree upon this type of life. So we've agreed upon this coronavirus thing through a subconscious alignment, agreement. We've all agreed, hey, guess what? we're going to need something to happen. There has to be some change because we are for growth. We're for expansion. So our spirit is looking to grow. So how's it going to grow if we're in a cash society? So guess what? We're going to get rid of cash. We're going to make a digital society. So people are going to transact with cryptocurrencies. Now, the people that know about this stuff are making millions of dollars. But the average person that has a job doesn't do the research. They don't have time. I have time because all I do is I'm on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, Wealth Mindset Group. The video is going to be posted on Wealth Mindset Group. I have the other channel, Crypto Lifestyle Club. And we just started a school, cryptolifeschool.com. We're working on the website. We're doing all the material. We're educating people on what cryptocurrencies are. People don't know what cryptocurrencies are. People don't know that they could turn $1 into $1,000. They don't know they could turn $1,000 into 100,000 or into 1,000,000 if you get into the right project. And that's why we're doing the research. Now, I was emotionally involved. I had a desire, and this thing came about. The how, like I said, the how will present itself to you. Now, I'm working with I Am Academy. You guys are a part of that business. I'm in that business. I'm a part of I Am Academy. What do we do at I Am Academy? We're doing Forex trading every day. Now, I don't really trade Forex, but they're also doing trading cryptocurrencies. So that's a good thing for people tuning in. But like Bob Proctor says, if create it, create the job. If you don't want to work for someone, then create a life for yourself. And you do that with a pen. And I know it sounds crazy because these concepts are totally illogical. They do not make sense. It's the opposite side of logic. Fantasy. Logic is, hey, put your feet on the ground. Fantasy is, hey, let's go into imagination and create a picture of creating a company from scratch, making millions of dollars, retiring in 5 years. Now, to the average person that has a job, they're going to say, what? Like, I can't just quit my job, dude. I have to pay bills. But that's where you're going to be tested. When all your bills are due and you're about to get kicked out of your house and you're about to lose everything you have. And what is material? It's only one thing. It's like Bob Proctor says, nature abhors a vacuum. Make a good create a space for the good that you desire. So it's like, go into your closet, take out all that junk. If you have a car that's 20 years old, get rid of it. Get into something new. Get rid of all the stuff that's not serving you. And that's how the creation process works, is you have to let it come in. Give it order. You give it order with a pen. You write it down. This is what I want. I'm going to travel Europe. I'm going to have a house in Spain. I'm going to have a house in different parts of the world. And I'm going to travel and I'm going to have residual income. Now that's my life, right? You might have something else. You might want to say, I'm so happy and grateful that I don't have any debt. I have 100,000 in my savings account, or I'm making $5,000 residual income, because we're literally dealing with infinite scenarios. We're dealing with quantum. Quantum is simultaneous, more than one. And when you think of it, everything there ever is and ever was and ever will be is 100% evenly present in all places at all times. Because we talk about flying cars. And if you told the average person 10 years ago, hey, guess what? You're going to see flying cars. The person would have said, you're crazy. Like, I'm still putting gasoline in my engine. But if you tell people that now they're not using gasoline that much. They're going electric, like I said, Elon Musk. And guess what? Uber is doing a deal right now with certain manufacturers where they're creating flying drones. Because in California, they have a transportation problem. So what do? They jump in the drone. They get from one point to another point. That was already here. When the Wright brothers created the airplane, the father thought that they were possessed by the devil. He's like, oh my God, my kids are possessed by the devil. they're talking about creating a plane that could fly. These kids are going crazy. Next thing you know, they got us off the ground. Do they sound too crazy? I don't think so, because you can fly anywhere in the world within a couple hours. I mean, it might take you 10 hours, depending where you're going, right? From Spain to Britain, 2-3 hour flight. From Barcelona to Paris, 2 hour flight. From Spain to Chicago, 10-hour flight. But this is possible. This is possible. And just to talk about Genevieve Behrend, because she only had one mentor. His mentor was Thomas Troward. Genevieve Behrend, I'm going to quote her so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. She says, when you bring these unseen causes into harmony with your conception, you can make practical working realities of possibilities that at present seem but fantastic dreams. So when you bring into these unseen causes into harmony with your conception, with your thought, what is the conception? The thought. The thought permeates all space at all time. And if you're having a hard time holding on to your thought, you may want to write it down, because all you need is a pen, and you can create the life that you want. My name is so-and-so. I have so much so-and-so. I'm making so-and-so. I created a company so-and-so. Don't ask how this is going to happen. Leave that to God. You leave that to the infinite. You don't ask how. Like, if I told you how I ended up in Spain, you wouldn't believe me. But it's like going through hell to get here, because everyone told me they're not accepting Americans in Spain. You're not going to get to Spain. And I went to one airport and they said, you can't fly to Spain. And then I called another airport and they said, you can't fly to Spain. Immigration is not going to let you in. And then I went to called another airport. They said, we're not letting Americans in. And then I acted as if I was in the United States, and I called in. They said, we're not letting Americans in. So guess what? I rented a car and I went through the English Channel to France in a boat, in the car. I parked my car in a boat, a big boat where a bunch of cars could fit. And then I got off my car in Paris, in France. I drove through Paris, 24 hours, all the way to the south of Spain, to beautiful weather. The sun's not out today, but it's beautiful weather. And I made that happen because I can't doesn't exist. That's actually one of my books. You guys might be like shocked. Like, I've been studying this information for a long time, guys, a very long time. And I study it every day. I study books like this by Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. And there is no competition. I'm no better than you. I was a loser. I was broke. Like, people would make fun of me because I couldn't pay for my apartment. I always had a hard time. And like Napoleon Hill, he was born into poverty. His mother died at a young age, so he had to learn how to fish. And I know that sounds crazy, being, let's say, 10, 12 years old, trying to figure out how you're going to have a meal. But that happened, and it's happening right now. Everything there ever is and ever was and ever will be is 100% evenly present in all places at all times. Anything you can think of exists. And anything you're thinking about in your mind is real. Even though it's not real in your lower faculties and what you can see, but it's real in your imagination. Now, scientists cannot distinguish what is real from what is imagined. That's the beautiful part. That if you can't have it in the physical world, you can have it in your mind. And that is just as important as having it in the physical world. And when you're consistently repeating it in your mind, it manifests in physical reality. Any idea, like I'm sitting there talking about Proctor, I'm like, any idea? He looks at me and he's like, Ross, he's 89. He's been in personal growth and development for over 60 years. And he looks at me, he's like, any idea, any idea, any idea, any idea. Like Andrew Carnegie told Napoleon Hill back in the 1900s, he's like, Napoleon, any idea that's either feared or revered, repeated, when it's taken over to the subconscious mind, it begins to formulate itself into physical reality. Any idea that's feared or revered. What is the law of polarity, controlling the polarities? What is this book about? Positive and negatives, a force. And scientists looked into it, your thought, and they actually figured out that it is a force. They did years of research. They said it has weight. Like if you put a pen on a weight, it has weight. Well, guess what? Your thought has weight to it. It might be 0.00001, but there is a weight to your thought. And everything you're thinking about is a sum total of what you're getting in your life. That's why Earl Nightingale says, you become what you think about. Man is what he thinks about all day long. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about poverty or are you thinking about wealth, abundance? Because guess what? There's abundance all around you. You just can't see it. It's like the air. And every now and then you might feel it because when you spend some money, it feels good, right? So think about this, guys. Think about what you're attracting because everything you're getting is what you've been asking for. It's like Napoleon Hill would say, whatever, he's like, tune into poverty. It'll be delivered right on schedule. Tune into abundance, and it's going to be tuned in right on schedule. Make a big number look small. Write it on your palm. Internalize it. Make a million look like a cakewalk. Make it look small. You know, you guys might not be there right now, but you can be there in your imagination. Like, yeah, I'm in Marbella, Spain. It's beautiful. But just the other day, I was in Venice Beach, California, in my mind, in my imagination. Why? Because I know what Venice Beach looks like. But you guys, if you never made a million, it's okay. Because eventually you're going to attract it because you're going to know how it feels. You have to know what it looks like. So there has to be a connection from the conscious to the subconscious because you're basically hypnotizing yourself to the fact that you could become wealthy because you've never been wealthy before. And that's what I had to learn. It took me a long time. So how do you do it? That's the question. How? Look at yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself a lie, even though it's not real, because it is real in your imagination. So it's not a lie. It might be a lie to other people because they might be telling you, oh, you got to fake it till you make it. But you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm so happy and grateful now that I made $1 million in my business. I feel great. I'm traveling the world. I'm experiencing something new every single day. I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm wealthy. And people say, oh, well, being wealthy is not going to get you into the kingdom of God. You think God wants you to be broke? How are you going to help your family if you're broke? How are you going to experience something new? That's what Wallace Waddle says in this book, The Science of Getting Rich. He says to think what you want to think, you need to think the truth. And the truth never lies upon appearances. Appearances aren't so. It's like seeing people happy. I'm happy. Oh, yeah, I'm really happy. And then they go home and they're pissed off. Are they really happy? I don't think so. So be true to yourself. It's like William Shakespeare, Napoleon Hill would always quote him. He's like, be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. It doesn't matter if you never made it. What matters is what you're going to write down on that blank sheet of paper, because that's what Napoleon Hill told me to do. He said, what are your qualities and how can you attract a quantity? How can you attract riches? Take something you're good at. Look for something you're good at and capitalize on it. You might be good in math. You might be good in, creating a website. You might be good in arts. You might be good in music, but you have qualities that other people don't have. We all have them. And these are the God-given abilities: your imagination, your will, perception, reasoning, intuition, and memory. And you have a memory, it's perfect. You can remember, but you have to look at the situations that happen to you in a negative way and change them. And change those situations to positive situations in your mind. Because we've all been let down, we've all hurt, we've all failed, we all cried, we've all been happy. But it's that happy state, it's that happy feeling where you're like, oh man, I feel so good. Like yesterday, I went to the gym in the morning and I went to the gym at night. Today, I'm doing the same thing and I feel so good. And I woke up relaxed. I just had this tea. You see me drinking this. This is tea. Basically, it's like a weight loss tea, believe it or not. So I'm trying to detox my body, and I'm eating just greens, no meat, just greens, just for this week. Usually I would have a cheeseburger, some coffee. I don't drink soda. I stay away from that. But I do love pizza and cheeseburgers because I'm American. And here it's like tomatoes, olive oil, and cheese and wine, right? Crackers. So everything is different. So you have to adjust. You have to get used to feeling happy, healthy, wealthy, and writing it down, seeing it, give it order. You give it order with your imagination. You write it down, you give it order. That's heaven's first law. God's first law is order. And then it's like the movement of the universe, of the cosmos. And that's how this stuff works. The last law, Wallace Wattles talks about in this book, it's called the law of gender. It's, we know what it is for a woman having a child. It's 9 months, right? For women that are tuning in, 9 months. But we don't know what a spiritual seed is. When you write this stuff down, it's a spiritual seed. It's something that you really want. If you want to be successful, like I don't have my wallet on me, but I don't have cash in my wallet. I have a bunch of gold cards and I write it down. I remember I wrote down I was going to own 20 properties paid off for my retirement. I got to like close to 10. And then I started selling them and I moved my money into cryptocurrency. Why? Because I want to make the thousands of % return. I don't want to deal with renters. So what's my next step? I created a school, Crypto Life School. And our students are making thousands of % of returns on certain projects that we're involved in. That's what we're doing. We're educating people. And that's what I do. I educate people in the law of attraction, in success. I'm writing books. I'm educating people in cryptocurrency. I've made millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. I got involved in certain projects at the early stage. I put 20, 30,000 in certain projects and I'm making millions of dollars, residual income. And everybody is sitting there looking, criticizing, telling me what is going to go wrong. But guess what? 4 years ago, people told me the same shit when I started the loan modification clinic. They said, oh, it's not going to work. The government is going to take your business. It's just too risky and blah, blah, blah. And guess what? I helped thousands of people. I had a lady, she was dying from cancer. She's sitting there crying. Mr. Garcia, thank you for saving my house. I beat cancer now. I was able to buy good food, organic food, because you helped me with my house. I lowered her interest rate from 6% to 3%, saved her over $600 a month on her payments every single month. And the same way I'm saving her, I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to save you from who? From yourself. Because like Napoleon Hill says, the biggest problem we have is ignorance. It's the opposite of knowledge. And I like how Napoleon Hill starts his lectures. He says, O divine providence, I don't ask for more riches, but more wisdom with which to use the riches I was born with, and the power to control my own mind to whatever ends I desire. It would be like stupid of me not to help guide you in this process, because I'm making millions of dollars and I'm sitting here and I'm enjoying my life. Why? Because that's my God-given right. It's like they say, you can't go out without a mask. Who the fuck are you to tell me I can't go out with? What the hell's going on here? You can infect other people. Look, we all have rights. But when you start taking those rights away from people, you're going to get a revolution. You're going to get, like William Wallace, freedom, bloodshed, like crazy shit. So what I'm telling you is the same way that you should fight for your freedom is the same way you should educate yourself in what the mind is. Because the mind is so powerful. These calls are so powerful that they can literally change not only your life, but your kids. It's like if I told you that there was a secret and you can make millions of dollars, would you do it for your kids? Let's just say I'm not going to do it for me. Would you do this? Would you do this for your kids? Would you help your kids out? Do you want your kids to go hungry? No. Okay, then jump on the calls. That's how it works. And I'm not the best. I'm not going to say I'm the best, right? But you have people like Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill. And that's how this stuff works. Because the mind is not the brain. The mind is an activity, and it's moving at a high speed of vibration. It's vibrating, moving. It's on a frequency. And the things that you want are up here, but you're operating with the level of awareness down here. You have to go into the ether, to the space, to the infinite, to what Wallace Waddle says. There's a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and a thought impressed upon the stuff produces the thing that is imagined by the thought. It's right here. You can buy this book on Amazon, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Waddles. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and a thought impressed upon this stuff produces the thing that is imagined by the thought. What stuff are we talking about? Could it be the same stuff that brought us the internet, that is letting me see me and you, people on Facebook, people on the Zoom call? Is that the thinking stuff? Yeah, I think so. But guess what? You can't feel it, but it's there. And if you impress the subconscious mind with $1 million idea, you'll remember this day. Because I still remember the day that I was listening to Napoleon Hill back in 2010 when I was broke, living at my mom's house. And my parents are sitting there arguing with me like, when are you going to do something with your life? Like, I thought you were supposed to graduate and go to school and get a job and get ahead. Now you're going through this situation. You almost killed yourself. You're a freaking loser. Now, I don't remember if they said I'm a loser, but I felt like a loser because I was working for JP Morgan Chase Bank and they were only paying me $24,000 salary. And I had a degree in finance and investment management. Life is crazy. I didn't even get a bonus for speaking Spanish. I didn't even get an extra 10 grand. And they said, look, the more mortgages you close, the more money you're going to make. A pipe dream. I quit that business, that job. It wasn't a business, it was a job. I quit that job and I started the loan modification clinic and I started helping people in Chicago. And then I expanded California, Philadelphia, New York. I went nationwide with my business online. It's still there. People are still calling the clinic and I'm referring most of those clients out to another company because I don't have time. But that's residual income. It's called marketing. A lot of businesses will move forward because of this coronavirus. And our business at I Am Academy is an online business. So you should be grateful. You should be thankful. And that's where you want to be, online. We have people making £1,000 a day. We have people like Saeed, young 24-year-old, Italian, lives in Britain, making £1,000 a day, trading Forex. And people tell me, oh, it's not real. Look, man, I don't know how more real it can get. I just woke up like literally an hour ago. I just had some tea. I'm about to go to the gym and I'm enjoying my life. I'm living in Spain. I'm from the United States. Everybody told me it's not possible. But guess what? It is possible. Like, there's a palm tree right there. You can see it. So, you have to be grateful for the things that you have right now so you could attract an abundance. And if you haven't wrote down how you want your life to be, when we end the call, I would highly encourage you, just like Napoleon Hill told me, write it down on a blank sheet of paper, how your life, don't worry about how it is right now, write it down how you want it to be. And then read it every day. Now, Napoleon Hill says, ask for a bounty, be modest, but don't be too modest. When I wrote down I wanted to make 1.75 million, I thought it was obtainable because all I needed was like 500 clients at $5,000 a client. It was like somewhere around 600 clients. But start at the end, act as if, because if nothing's created, nothing's destroyed, then it's already here. So act as if, just keep playing the role, act as if, if you're in a Toyota Camry, then, and if you want to be in a Mercedes-Benz, just pretend. Like Bob Proctor always quotes Nat King Cole. He wrote a song called Pretend. He's like, you can be happy when you're blue. It isn't very hard to do. You can find happiness without an end whenever you pretend. It's a song by Nat King Cole. I think it's from the 70s. He says, you can be happy when you're blue. It isn't very hard to do. You can find happiness without an end whenever you pretend. So why not pretend? If you don't have it right now, that's fine. We're not dealing with right now. We're dealing with the end result. But you have to bring the end now. Do it now. If you're walking into a rental and you're living in a 1-bedroom, act as if you're walking into your house. Imagine how your house would look like. Paint a picture in your mind. Describe it in full detail with a pen. Write it down. And then keep reading it. Keep replaying it. Build new brain cells of recognition, not the old ones. The new brain cells of recognition. New ones, not the old ones. You're building new. You're building new brain cells of awareness of something that hasn't happened in your life. That's what Wallace Waddle says, that you're a spirit, you're for expansion and fuller expression. You're to grow, to experience something that you have never done before. So I started asking myself, well, shit, like, does that mean that we've always been here? Yes, you have. You've always been here. Like, when you die, you're going to leave the body, but the spirit is still there. You're a spirit. You have an intellect and you live in the body. Your spirit is for expansion. Your intellect has higher faculties, and it also has lower ones. Higher and lower. Polarities. Controlling the polarities. That's what my book is about. Polarities. Imagination, the will, reasoning, intuition, memory, and perception. I can see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. These are your sensory factors. Now, even though you've been programmed to use your sensory factors, you need to start using your higher faculties. Imagination, the will, the ability to focus on the picture that you want. Perception, reasoning, intuition, and memory. Develop the higher faculties, and it will be easier for you to attract the things that you want. You see, the movie The Secret, The Law of Attraction by Rhonda Byrne, She didn't explain how the law of attraction works. She just said, hey, there's a secret that when you think about these things, they start happening in your life. But she didn't say, oh, you have an imagination, you have a concentration factor, you have perception. When you change the way you see things, everything else will change. And that's what William James, the professor from Harvard, what he said. He says, your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. And frequently, if you reevaluate a situation, your beliefs about that situation will change. So it's like you need to reevaluate your life, reevaluate the income that you make, the relationships that you're in, the type of house, the type of economy that you are putting in place. You have an ability to think and to generate thoughts and to make something from nothing, because that's what the subconscious mind is nothing. It's like so deep. Earl Nightingale said the subconscious mind is like the dirt. It's immoral. You could plant nightshade, a deadly poison, and not even a 16th of an inch away, you can plant corn, a sweet food. It gives you what you plant. So what are you planting into the subconscious mind? Are you planting nightshade, a deadly poison? Or are you planting corn, a sweet food? That's what my book is about, controlling the polarity, controlling what you're thinking about, because your thoughts are all over the place. And that's what this chapter is about, order. Chapter 4, order. Give order to your thoughts. Give order to how you want your life to be. Give order by creating a design, a picture on physical canvas, on a blank sheet of paper. Write down how you want your life to be and actually believe it. Like Napoleon Hill says, there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until they believe they can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. So I want you guys to do that. This call will be on Zoom, not Zoom, on YouTube. We're on Zoom right now. This call will be on YouTube, wealthmindsetgroup.com for the people on Facebook. I hope you guys found this information useful. Enjoy your day. Go to Wealth Mindset Group on YouTube. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about another chapter on controlling the polarities. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Enjoy your day and have a good one. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out.